Happy Wednesday, right? It's Wednesday. So, about that steering wheel story, it was a bombshell, all right, minus the shell part, just like all those other anti-Trump bombshells. At the Jan 6th hearing yesterday, a star witness no one ever heard of testified about something she didn't see, which right there makes her testimony as legitimate as smoke signals from Liz Warren. So what's the gist? That as then-President Donald Trump was being driven back to the White House after the January 6th rally, he demanded the car pull over so he could snack on an injured dog on the side of the road. Yeah, it was a Pekingese, which he then slathered in ketchup and devoured with his bare, bloody hands. Donald Jr. was laughing in the back seat. Yeah. Well, she was told that anyway. Actually, she was told that on the way to the rally, Donald Trump, stripped naked, declared himself the king of Siam, and then proceeded to randomly type out all of Shakespeare's plays on a Smith Corona word processor he borrowed from his good friend and mentor, Adolf Hitler, who isn't really dead but lives in a shampoo bottle in Mar-a-Lago pool houses. Maybe that's a bit much. But her claims are even less believable. She claims she was told that Trump actually tried to grab the steering wheel from a Secret Service agent. The verb used, lunge. He lunged. Yes, lunge. The thing my personal trainer makes me do by holding my daiquiri out of arm's reach. About 8 inches. But yeah, Trump apparently crawled out through the back window of the Beast. The Beast, which is the code name for the presidential limo, as well as Hillary Clinton.
Oh my God.
Shuffled across the roof, then slid down in through the driver's side window to grab the wheel while screaming, "Screw the guns, let Jesus take the wheel." Sounds real, right? Good thing we have a Republican there to keep it all on the up and up. I kid. But it's odd how Liz Cheney has become the vindictive ex-wife that Donald Trump never knew he had. She's now a screech owl with a fake serenity of a Stepford wife. Guys don't remember the Stepford wives? Anyway, so the people who spent 4 years telling you Trump was so out of shape that he had one foot in the grave and the other on a packet of mayo now want you to believe he can slither around a moving vehicle like he's Jackie Chan. Still, the press inhaled the hearsay like it was parfait.
The president's in real trouble, not least for assaulting his Secret Service agent.
This is where I confess that I cannot recall ever having heard another example of a president trying to physically hijack his own motorcade.
To grab the steering wheel, I mean, is dangerous act, and then whatever to grab the Secret Service agent. I mean, this is beyond that Trump was the wrong man for the job.
That's going to stick for a lot of people. You know, the president of the United States, you know, attacking a Secret Service agent.
Attacking! The media hasn't been this excited about an attack since you know who. Jussie, you're back. Of course, like Smollett's stinky tail, just wait it out. The story comes apart like a cheesesteak dropped in a hot tub. I told him it was a cheesesteak.
Oh my God.
Oh gosh.
Sorry, Governor.
Yeah, sorry.
First, our very own David Spunt, which is the past tense of spant, confirms that on background, both men implicated in this anecdote dispute the lunge. And it's not just us. NBC's Peter Alexander also says a source close to the Secret Service says both Bobby Engel, the lead agent, and the driver are prepared to testify under oath that neither man was assaulted and that Mr. Trump never lunged for the wheel. Then there's ABC's John Santucci. Sources tell him the Secret Service will push back against any allegation of an assault or Trump reaching for the wheel, nor did he suddenly grow 8-foot rubber arms like he was in the Fantastic Four. Finally, CNN admits, yes, an official denied saying an agent told Hutchinson this story. Yeah, even CNN. I mean, when you lose CNN, you know, you lose CNN. And its remaining 12 viewers. Actually, it's one viewer, but it goes by the pronoun they. There's There's more disputes over what Hutchinson claims. Something about a note she says she wrote but didn't. Maybe, I don't know. We could go into it, but we'd get a more believable driving story from Paul Pelosi. It's all cloaked in overwrought theater, and not even good theater like you see on Broadway, but community theater, like a play your Aunt Margaret has the lead in. Margaret. Which is why the hearing's a joke. It was a one-sided charade that undermines everything presented. It's why no one watches it unless it's force-fed to them by the media. They thought a heavily produced special created by an ABC producer with surprise cameos featuring people you never heard of would blow your minds. But it failed like a remake of The Love Boat. Even testimony from Charo can't save them. I'm old. Honestly, how much of this guy do you need to see? You know, if I were cynical, I'd say he's a useful idiot, a glutton for strange new respect from his temporary liberal pals. He always looks like he's about to burst into tears. What does Kinziger mean in German anyway? Karen? You know, he should save that face when he gets a job driving Lynn Cheney to MSNBC. Yeah, poor Liz. A fatal attraction level stalker who just can't get over President Trump. Which reminds me, Donald, hide the bunny. These references, they're so old. I get them, though, and that's all that matters. Fact is, the committee thought this was a slam dunk. A show trial full of secondhand accounts. Who would complain? The media? Nah, they're lapping it up like it's AOC's bathwater. Watching it reminded me of that game we played as kids, where you sat in a circle and whispered something to the person next to you until it went all the way around the circle, and by the end, it was totally different than what was whispered at the start. I think it was called Spin the Bottle. But that's what hearsay is. And I'm not even saying it's false. Why bother when the committee is false in the truest sense of the word? It's the big red bow on the box of corruption brought to you by the same clowns that created hoaxes for 6 years. It prepped hearsay steeped in heavily produced propaganda. Seriously, I keep waiting to hear a director yell, "Cut! Let's do that again with a little more feeling, Adam." And it's designed not to uncover truth, but to distract you from the real truth of crime, inflation, immigration. All the things this administration fails us on a massive scale. But we see through it like a condom stretched over a flashlight. Oh my God. I don't know how I know. Fact is, we know Trump has a temper. I still remember the wedgie he gave me after I replaced his Diet Coke with Pepsi. I've never been lifted that high in my life. I was so happy. Fact is, they created a show trial, but forgot to bring the show. And now their honesty is on trial, to which I say, lock them up. Let's welcome tonight's guests. She's so patriotic, Mount Rushmore takes field trips to see her every summer. South Dakota governor and author of the new book, Not My First Rodeo, Chrissy Dome. She talks so fast, she makes sign language interpreters call in sick. Outnumbered co-host Emily Campagno. His jokes have him laughing all the way to the bank. The food bank. Actor, writer, and comedian Jamie Lissow. And she brings out the best in people when they report her to law enforcement. Fox News contributor Kat Tim. They're pretty weak today. Congratulations on your great new book, Governor Noem. I love the fact that, surprises, surprises, you have an American flag on it.
I know, shocker, right?
I know,
Shocker.
I know. Anyway, and you're on a horse.
Yes. Did you review it on Amazon yet?
Not yet, but I will.
Apparently, that really matters.
It does matter. I'll do that tonight.
That'd be great.
I'll do that tonight, and I won't even read it first.
I am. Well,
I'm kidding. So about these hearings, have you been tuning in, or what do you think of them?
I have been tuning in as little as possible. I've been paying attention, but I can't honestly focus on it. I mean, how can you? We're literally making stuff up now. I think I heard a rumor in the hallway outside the girls' bathroom that maybe this happened, 8, 9, 10 months ago, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yes, do you swear under oath? Yes, I swear under oath. That's what happened. It's literally what we're doing in Washington, D.C. now. I think this government has fallen to the lowest level I could have imagined.
You know what kills me about this, too, is that, okay, this is not over yet.
No.
It's open-ended. A, it's open-ended, and B, who's paying for it? We are.
Oh.
So there's actually...
No, you're not paying for this, Greg.
Who's paying for it?
Your children, your grandchildren. Oh, remember, we've been
Thank
saying
God.
that for a long time. It's not you.
Screw you,
Not with those
non-existent
shoes
kids.
on.
I win again. I win again.
Always winning. You're so tired of winning.
I'm tired of
tired of winning.
But no, think about it. The reason why this doesn't end is because we're footing the bill.
I know.
It's insane, Jamie.
It is.
Are people watching this in Alaska?
Yeah.
They have televisions. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, we don't have cable, but we do have television. This CNN thing, my goodness, their viewership, they're going to have to start calling it Nothing Anyone Wants to See CNN. By the way, talking about the Secret Service, for being the Secret Service, I felt like there was a lot of names and a lot of facts they just put out there. They're going to have to start calling it the Can't Keep a Secret Service.
Oh, very true.
I got really worried. Well, not worried, but I was thinking about, wouldn't it be crazy to have Secret Service like following you everywhere? Just how crazy that would be. And by the way, just to exaggerate, like you said, say it is true that he reached for the wheel. He's not a terrorist.
Yeah.
He's not attacking anyone. I think Biden was jealous. He was like, oh man, I just have a little toy wheel in the back. But I'm just glad no one follows me around, because I just feel like,
Why?
remember that show Cheaters?
Yes.
I just feel like if you remember that one, I feel like if they followed me, the people would be like telling my ex-wife, they'd be like, oh, we think he's cheating on you. We thought he was cheating on you. He ordered 2 dinners from Chirping Chicken. And then they would bust into my room, and it would just be me eating both of them.
Yes.
And they'd be like, the good news is your husband's not cheating on you. The bad news is he's a slob.
Interesting and sad tale.
Uh-huh.
We're there for you.
Yes.
We've got your back.
When the governor says that.
Yeah, if
I
you
think
wanna
she's
talk
lying, by the way.
I'm a really good listener.
All right, Emily, you're a lawyer, or so you claim. What is lacking in this committee, this hearing?
Substantive due process. I mean, I will say this is all about home field advantage, right? This is just like a grand jury proceeding where it's all about the prosecution. There's no hearsay rules, there's no objections, there's no cross-examination, there's no evidence code whatsoever. And that is why grand juries lead to a 99.9% indictment rate. And the other difference is that grand jury proceedings are secret, usually, whereas this is being played out on national television. And to me, the credibility issue here is the fact that these guys are holding themselves out to be the ultimate fact finders. These are the investigators, right? When in grand jury proceedings, the whole point is that kicks off, or is one of the first steps of the criminal justice proceedings, right? They go then to trial, they go then to bring charges. But here, obviously, there would be a referral, but they are holding themselves out as the ultimate court. And for sure, in the court of public opinion, that seems to be what they care about the most.
In an election year.
Yes.
Yep.
And that's the whole point.
This thing could go, but the thing, I keep going back to the fact that there's no disincentive to stop. This is if they can, they're not even doing their job. We're paying for their campaign ads. This is an entire campaign ad. It's crazy, Kat. Absolutely crazy. Will you ever make up stories about me?
I don't think I have to.
Fair enough.
But no, this was popping up on my phone last night, and I didn't even click on it.
Right.
Which is wild.
Yeah.
Because, like, I love tea, you know? And this sounds like this would be some crazy tea.
Yeah.
But I'm just...
What do you mean by tea?
Like, you know, whatever. I can't make you younger, so I don't know.
I know what it means. I just hate the phrase.
But it reminds me, I actually had a friend, used to be my friend, he told the best stories until I kept catching him lying. And I just lost interest. And he said to me, he was like, you never asked me anything about my life. I'm like, yeah, because I never know if what you're telling me about your life is actually your life. And I actually regret listening so intently to that story you told me about you and Harry Styles in a hot tub, which he did tell me. Don't think it was true. And I'm there to be a friend, but I don't want to be like, you know, like the test audience for your erotic fan fiction. But it's the same. It's the same. Yes. it's the same sort of thing here where it's like, how many times can things turn out to be that's, sound really, explosive that turn out to be not true or overblown for people just check out? Because I know that I kind of have.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.